Yeah, Mike McDaniel speaking to the media, his Monday day after game press conference. We'll start right here. Here was Mike McDaniel's comments regarding a lot that went wrong yesterday in the Dolphins' disastrous start to the season.
The positive is that that was a miserable experience. It was embarrassing, flat out. And in that, there's nowhere to hide. It's almost, within the game. Uh, it's almost good that that it wasn't reachable. That we were -4 because there's as a team we have to. I was really looking forward to seeing the stuff that we've really worked on diligently, and I didn't see any of it.
He doesn't have any answers. And that's the reality. There's certain guys, we talk about being in the foxhole with someone. There's certain guys, stuff goes wrong, and you go, that guy will fix it. That guy will get us out of it. He doesn't have any answers. And by the way, a lot of the time for the past 3 years, I've thought that what we get from him in the media sessions has to be somewhat different than what the team gets in meeting rooms and speeches and coaching wise. And it's not. That's what they're getting. And if I'm frustrated by that, I mean, what he just said there, which really to me made no sense, what he said there looks like the guy who would coach a team to look like what the Dolphins looked like yesterday.
It first thing popped in my mind. I've told y'all the story was Cam Cameron. The goofiness of the game. Washington, they're the Commanders now. Their name was different back then. Where we go to overtime, they kick us the ball. We go 3 and out. They get the ball, drive the ball right down our throat to kick a field goal to win the game. And this goofy bastard walked into the locker room and said, from the outside looking in, that was a great football game. Like, what are you talking about? You're on the inside, butt wipe. Like, but that was the 07 season. That was the 1-15 season. To your point, Hawk, that was the 1-15 season where that reminds me a lot of this. It's great to just feel the misery. Why didn't we prepare for non-misery? It's puzzling right now because he's had success. We've had success.
I love Mike McDaniel. I know. I love Mike McDaniel, and I love Tua. I want them both to succeed. I want to be able to be proud of the team that I root for. And Mike McDaniel, his responses yesterday after the game, his demeanor during the game, and I don't want to be demeanor guy, but his demeanor during the game was apathetic. And then that just doesn't instill any confidence in me other than, hey, hoping it works out better next week. Like it does nothing for me. So I don't know. I'm sad because I put a lot of emotional energy behind believing in Mike McDaniel and Tua and Chris Greer this offseason when I was swimming upstream on that one. And man, they made me look like a fool.
I mean, this is year 4 of Mike McDaniel. And if they lost yesterday because of things that we hadn't seen before, then all right, these are new issues. But it's a lot of the same stuff that we've been seeing from a team led by Mike McDaniel for the last 3+ seasons. I didn't even mention the Tyreek Hill catch that he 100% got both feet in that Mike McDaniel just didn't challenge. And he's got a track record of being one of the worst at challenges.
Oh, he kept his track record going yesterday by not challenging something that would have gotten overturned.
I saw somebody say this, and it really put it into perspective for me. Yesterday's offense with Tua looked like how the offense last year looked like with Tim Boyle. They played a game at Indianapolis last year and had a better chance of winning, led by Tim Boyle. They were driving at the end with Tim Boyle in a 1-score game last year. Yesterday with Tua Tagovailoa. And that's the thing that's hardest to grapple with for me, I think. I'm an optimist. Sue me. I've seen Tua play at a really high level in this league. We all have. That guy yesterday, that is a completely different person. I don't know the reasons. Maybe it is all the injuries catching up to him, but like that was not a competent NFL quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. And he has, again, just go back and look at some of the highlights from 2023. I know he wasn't perfect that whole season. But if you go watch that and compare it to what you saw yesterday, just Tua, not even the scheme, not even the skill guys around him, just Tua. It's a different player. It just is.
I would say, it's funny you say that because I was going to bring it up. The Bradley Chubb thing about, we're just making plays up on the sideline with Tua's performance, with Mike McDaniel's post-game press conference. There's an aloof to this team that, and you can address that. Like, you can buckle down. Go back to last year with Bradley Chubb when he said, we act like we want to be tough, but we're not doing anything to be tough. We're just talking tough. That's an aloofness that Mike McDaniel has. Like, we just got beat by 25, fellas. I am walking it with a Dom Capers, with a Mike Nolan, with a Nick Saban, with the guys defensively. I'm walking into the meeting room with my head down, worried. We're about to get cussed out. We just gave up 33 points to Daniel Jones. And your head coach walks in and says, oh, well, the great thing about that is that it was miserable all day, so the misery can get a hold of us. What did you just say to me? I get paid to stop points. We gave up 33 points. You please cuss me out. I want to get cussed out today. There's no cussing out going on in that building.
And then if you're Tua Tagovailoa and you have that performance, you're going to be the guy that's holding the other players accountable in the room after that? Like, there's just not a lot of credibility with him when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I just feel like I'm eating a lot of crow today. I'm not trying to it is one game, but it is the first game. And against that particular opponent, the way they look, I don't know how, it's only game one. I don't know how to keep that perspective. Normally I'm able to do that. But with what we saw yesterday, how can you just write that off as a one-off, especially when you've been seeing, like I said, a lot of these same issues going back 4 years under Mike McDaniel, even when they were a good team?
I'm with you. All that being said, I'm betting the Dolphins -2, and I'm betting all the 2 over.
Hawk, to your point, no, Hawk, I would not be surprised if they beat the Patriots at home Sunday. That's
the way this league works. Yeah. That's how this league works.
And they did this pleasant, friendly camp. Everybody's enjoying each other. Everybody's joking and playing. And now there's grown men getting embarrassed by 25-point losses where some of the leaders have to step up and say, let's tighten up. If they beat the Pats, they're not beating the Bills, let's be honest, fellas. But they could beat the Pats. They could beat the Jets. That Bills game, I know exactly how that game is going to go.
Ignore the last 16 points.
I mean, Crowder, it's the Bills on Thursday night in prime time. When has that ever gone badly for the Dolphins?
What could go wrong?
Forever.
Dolphins line, by the way, is down to 1.5. So if you wanted to lay points with the Dolphins, it's dropping. So if you got it in at 2, shame on you. It's down to 1.5. All right, what else do you have in the headlines, Solana?
Since we dipped our toes in the demeanor river, Tyreek Hill did not seem happy on the sideline either. If we're reading body language midway through the first quarter, couple turnovers from Tua Tagovailoa. They tried to get Tyreek involved. Clearly nothing over the top, and Tyreek was notably angry on the sidelines.
Well, over the top of his head. Flying right over the top of his head.
And I saw some of those all-22 clips. I mean, he was running open on some of these players, and Tua just wasn't getting on the ball.
One of Tua's worst games ever.
It might be the worst.
Well, you just said it. He looked like Tim Boyle. That looked like the Tim Boyle offense we saw. And there's no chance I would have believed you if you said that Tua could ever have a game like that. Wouldn't have.
Didn't y'all send me something where Tua's QBR was a 3?
So I had a buddy of mine look this up. So Tua Tagovailoa was the lowest graded quarterback by PFF yesterday. However, if you take out the filter for number of snaps, there was one quarterback worse, according to Pro Football Focus yesterday, and it was Zach Wilson.
So
We had to
if
see
I
what
extrapolate
Zach
that
had.
out correctly, Mike McDaniel made the right choice in starting Tua over Zach Wilson.
His QBR was a 2.7. Y'all sent me that. Jimmy could get a 2.7.
Probably higher.
Yeah.
Listen, I heard about that sprint speed to the bathroom. I mean, you would have been able to get out of that pocket a couple of times.
I've never seen Jimmy's shovel pass.